Hello everyone, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another Heffy Doodle video. Today we are going to be playing with some fun products. We've got an oldie but a goodie. This is the Elephant of Surprise. We also have this newer one called Go Wild Frame. I'm going to be pairing it up with this Amazonian Leaves that was previously released. And then we also are going to be using the little hat from our Koality Hugs, and we have matching dies for both our stamp sets. And then we also have the alcohol marker friendly cardstock. So I'm going to start with my backgrounds first. I have just a tonic mat down. I've put down some crushed olive and some twisted citron, and I've got a couple pieces of watercolor cardstock that measure 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And I'm going to do just an older technique that is a tried and true, always fun to go back to. Just spritz with water, smash, your cardstock down into it, heat set in between, and then just keep going until you have a background that you like. Now, I am doing this card for the new July challenge that is about to happen. So this will get your guys' creative juices flowing. Hopefully, it is an anything goes challenge. So grab your Heffy Doodle stamps and just get to making. I'm going to bring in a blender brush along with using our twisted citron. I don't want any white in that background, so I'm just going to add some color to it. That's just a fun way to fill in the gaps. And then I'm going to go right back to smushing some color down. That third color I brought in was Rustic Wilderness. Originally I was thinking I wanted mostly just like a yellowy background, since I am using elephants, kind of an elephant safari type thing. But I really do like those pops of green in there. And then I bring in some Lucky Clover Distress Oxide spray, and I'm just going to splatter that on the background. I think that pulls in like a tealy color once it's dry. And oh my goodness, I could make these backgrounds all day long. I'm going to bring in that Rustic Wilderness, and then we're going to just blend that color on the edges just to bring that in a little bit more, because I really do like that green. I like the pops of yellow in there, and like I said, I like how the Lucky Clover, in this light it doesn't look like that, but it really does kind of bring in a tealy color. And there's my two backgrounds after I did some splattery water on there. They're all finished and ready for some die cutting. So I'll bring in our Go Wild frame. This is the one I chose to do it on. I'm going to bring in some Heffy tape and tack that down and then run that through my die cutting machine, and we'll do the same thing with our Amazonian Leaves. I did that twice. We'll pop out all the extra little pieces, and I just love how this frame is. I can save the extra pieces that I didn't use for another card, so very excited about that. But I love how this frame turns out. It's just so fun. Lots of possibilities. And then all of my images were stamped out onto that alcohol marker friendly cardstock, and I used a alcohol friendly ink because I'm going to do some Copic coloring. And I'm going to color all of the elephants basically the same. I'm using a W4 as my lightest color, and I do bring in a W6 for my shadowing and shading, just kind of putting it down where I like. And it is pretty harsh where you put down that darker color, and to be honest with you, I kind of like it, so I don't blend it too much. I wanted there to be a good contrast, so I'm going to blend it just a little bit, but not too crazy much on all of those little elephants. I like the stark difference. I think it just kind of adds to the fact that there's probably a good amount of sun where these little elephants are. And then I'm going to bring in 3 pops of color. So we've got some BG57. I didn't do a very good job of putting them up on the screen. Sometimes when I get into coloring mode, I'm not paying attention. But we've got BG57 and BG07. That is going to be my darker shade for the blue-green. Again, that kind of goes with the background just a little bit. And I did want to bring in some extra color. So I'm also going to bring in a yellow. So we've got Y06 is going to be our lightest yellow color, and that'll tie in with that yellow kind of in the background. And then I'll bring in some Y19, that'll be my darker yellow. And then I wanted a pop of red as well. So once I get all of this yellow kind of blended on there, I love doing balloons, by the way. And then once I get that yellow on there, I'm going to bring in a pop of red, which is R24, and then our darker red is some R29. Now, I kind of debated how to do the cake stand, but I thought I did want definitely more yellow. I got a little crazy, and it bled. The reds always tend to bleed a little more. I'm not sure why, but they do. So I am going to bring in that Y06 and push that color back out. So we'll just kind of push that got on the cake out a little bit more. And now that everything's colored, we need to bring in our matching dyes. So I'll tack that down with some more Heffy tape, and then we'll run that through our little Heffy Doodle mini die cutting machine. You guys know I love this machine. It never leaves my desk. I would say 90% of the dies that I have will go through this machine because they're small enough. So this is why it just never leaves my desk. I use it all the time. All right, so now that they're all die cut out, we're going to put some of our pieces together. I do this for a couple reasons. One, just to kind of see how things are going to shake out and how big they're going to be, but also so that I don't lose the pieces as I work on the background. So I do that. It helps me to just kind of set things off to the side and then I don't lose any pieces. And then my card base is some Nina Desert Storm. I'm just going to put some glue just on the edge of our frame because I wasn't sure at this point if I wanted to pop any of those leaves behind, but I decide not to. I'm going to have several leaves left over, and I'll just use those on another card sometime. But I always like to have extra pieces so I don't have to go back and do it again. We're going to pop these two little elephants on our background. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to add like action wobbler to this guy or just some foam tape. So we'll move on to the inside. I'll grab out some of the sentiments from our elephant of surprise. They're so cute. We've got, this one says unforgettable. And so I'm going to make my phrase that says, have an unforgettable day. I love how you can build up these sentiments. So cute. And then this is where we're going to take those leaves and we're going to kind of concentrate those down at the bottom. Well, after I do the other sentiment, which is going to say heard, heard it was your birthday. And then I can trim these down for the front of our card. And I'll do that using my guillotine trimmer. So once I get those all trimmed out, they'll be ready to go on the front of our card. And then we can start working on the rest of the inside of the card. So here is where I grab the leaves that I did. We're going to concentrate those to the right-hand corner. And I do like to pop them off the edge. That gives the illusion that there's more going on outside of the card. And you just don't worry about that. You just cut that off later once everything's kind of dried up a little bit. But it is a fun look. If you've never tried it, you have to. And then I'll grab that one last leaf and just kind of stick that on there. And then we're going to take our one little elephant who looks like he's running, and we'll put him down there. So there's still plenty of room to write to our recipient, but we have this cute little scene on the inside of the card tying the outside to the inside. He's holding his balloon. And now we'll trim off that excess. And I just love how this looks on the inside. So fun. You could even do that to the front of a card if you want it to be more case or clean and simple. All right, so now we'll take our words and we'll stick those down on the front of our card, just using some more liquid glue. I'm trying to center it up, so I'm using my glass mat for that. I realize I need to pop that over just a little bit further. Then I will take our cake and we'll put that on the side. And then here's where I decide to just put some foam tape on the back of our little elephant rather than using a action wobbler, which would still be super cute. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically a tiny spring. I've done plenty of cards with those. So I'll just peel off all this release paper and then we can stick our little elephant down. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to add any embellishments at this point. And that will finish off our card for today. So there is our card for the challenge that is anything goes. I love how this turned out. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And big thank you for all of the support that you guys give me, whether it be watching my videos, liking, subscribing, all of those fun things. I do appreciate you. So I hope you have a great day and I'll see you soon.